All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. It is me, Nick, and we are today going to do the caster role quest for Endwalker. I got my it's my black mage gear, level 90 job gear. Super excited. We are going to be traveling to Ishgard. And hopefully we'll be meeting a very gentlemanly paladin-esque figure who will lead us through safety and probably just barely need my help, honestly. Just invited me for the fun ride and see what happens. But let's go ahead and go find the quest. Why do black mages always wear eye patches? What's up, Pollo? You know what? There is probably a lore reason why. I bet you have a banana could tell us. It's either eye patches or they've got the face, like the mouth covered. I like this outfit. I don't mind it. There's, you know, the necklaces. There's a lot going on here. It looks very witchy. The staff is pretty cool. I like the floating items around it. They do orbit when you take it out. It's pretty cool. Everything else is kind of whatever. It's very black magey. I wish the hat wasn't like limp. I wish it was pointy. And there's like feathers at the end. It's all right. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as the Stormblood black mage job gear, I think it was. I'm pretty sure that one was like the horrible color palette and design. Not my favorite. But let's go talk to the Ishgardian delegate. There he is, out aching souls. Scarecrow. Is that the one it was? There's one that had like pink and green and whatever in the color palette. Wasn't my favorite. Cool. These Guardian delegates seek a battle mage with courage unwavering. Ah, my Lady Dorbe, I have awaited your coming. The phenomenon wherein men turn into monsters. It pains to say that Ishgard has not been spared. A dread blasphemy has appeared in the Holy See, and to compound the people's horror, the beast resembles a dragon. 'Tis imperative that it be vanquished without delay, and to that end we have begun assembling a hunting party. Given that fear and despair may turn our allies against us, we are being stringent in who we choose for this duty. Yet while we have confidence in the quality of our knights, the mission would greatly benefit for the presence of a battle mage, one who can stand unflinching in the face of our fell quarry. We would be hard-pressed to find an individual who fits that description better than you. Will you not lend us your strength and skill? You can count on me. I'll go help Amert. We are in your debt. Just a moment while I relay the glad tidings to command. It is settled. Upon arriving in Ishgard, please take yourself to the Aetherite Plaza. Lord Artoriel will be there to receive you. May the Fury speed your way. Cool. All right. We're heading out. That was the Scarecrow one? Okay. Again, not my favorite. Cool. Let us do this. It makes sense that you... Like, I'm trying to think of like justifications for why it is the you know, why each faction needs their own or that individual job. Like Gridania needed the tank because they didn't have any tanks. Ishgard has, you know, dragoons and has I guess the Dark Knight is here, and astrologian and machinist. So caster is really the only class that isn't represented, and at least it makes sense. What's up, Banana? Black mages just need to be edgy. That's literally the entire reason. Same thing with Dark Knights, and to a lesser degree, Dragoons. Is that the Tome Black Mage staff? No, the only Tome gear I've managed to scramble up is the some stuff for the Paladin. But it does look cool. I feel like I need to dye a piece of my clothing purple in order to go with it, but... Alright, Artoiro? This is Manny's older brother, right? I think. Probably not the most famous sibling I can relate him to, but the only one I could talk about without getting all emotional. Don't skip the dialogue. Dolbay, I have been expecting you. Words cannot well express how heartening it is to have you fighting beside us. Allow me to echo that sentiment. Oh my. Greetings, my friend. Lest you wonder, Lord Artorel and I are leading the effort to deal with the blasphemy. With your capable self in the fold, I have no doubt that we shall succeed. Without further ado, I shall brief you on the situation. It was a handful of days after the first beasts appeared in Radzat-Han. An Elizan man was observed at the hop lawn and the pillars, walking with an unsteady gait. All of a sudden, he buckled over as if in pain. Before anyone knew what was happening, he had transformed into a terrible draconic beast. Oh yeah, look at that. Again, this dragon... Maybe I have to see it with its mouth shut. This dragon looks a lot better than the ones from Heavensward. The derpy dragons, I will never get over them. At the mere sight of this, many who chanced to be present also turned, and regrettably the Temple Knights were forced to put them down. The blasphemy itself, however, took wing and fled. Profane Fafnir, we have chosen to call it, after the dragon man of Ishgardian myth. Since that day, the beast has oft been sighted in the skies above Ishgard. It does not attack, only circles menacingly for a time ere disappearing again. Alas, these brief visitations are enough to cause more people to turn, and for fear and panic to spread further. As part of our investigation, we have sought to identify the man who became the blasphemy, but thus far we have learned naught. We have, however, identified a common thread between those who subsequently turned. All were people of fervent faith, people such as priests and inquisitors. Oh, so the people who lost the most during the, after the war? When the truth of our nation's history was laid bare, the legitimacy of the church was called into question. Many Ishgardians struggled to reconcile the revelations with their beliefs. None more so than the pious. Such men and women, we posit, would be more susceptible to despair, and therefore the transformation. We must find a way to stop it. Ishgard has only just emerged from a 1,000-year war, and we cannot suffer another great tragedy, much less so soon. In order to attain a better understanding of the situation, we intend to speak with a member of the clergy. The sole individual who survived witnessing the blasphemy's birth without being turned. Clem is his name, and he is a deacon at St. Raymonard's Cathedral. Come, let us seek out Mount there at once. That's him seek. Oh boy, okay. We're off to a good start. Okay, so Artorel shows up in at least one of the short stories as the heir to the house, but he was more involved in Ishgard politics and communicating with the other houses. But competence isn't as interesting, so less screen time. Aiming for obstacles, but I feel like the depth perception was like you're not actually using your eyes to aim. You use your magical, like, senses or whatever. You feel it out. If you're familiar with Konosuba, there's an entire village of powerful mages that literally do absurd stuff like nonsensical incantations and eye patches for Rule of Cool for middle schoolers. Is that... I'm not familiar with Konosuba. Is that an anime? Is that a Final Fantasy thing? Is that just a group of Lalafels that are cosplaying? I could take this opportunity to do this quest. I've had this Divine Reckoning quest on just to go in here and go turn it in. It's the quest where we were helping the guy who ended up with us in the first of the detective missions. And I've had that quest on for probably a year now. I just have not been back here to talk. Okay. Creepy clergy. Do not like the clergy. Clergy kind of suck. Ready to talk for 3 hours? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got a Red Bull. We should be fine.
Lord Aymeric, Lord Artorel, and the savior of Ishgard besides. You do me great honor. I'm Clem, and I serve as a deacon here at St. Raymonald's Cathedral.
I understand you were among those at the Hoplon when the incident occurred. We give thanks to the Fury for your merciful preservation. We now seek to prevent the blasphemy from wreaking further havoc, and would appreciate any details you could provide. Loath though we are to make you recall unpleasant memories, will you not recount to us what you witnessed that day?
Very well. We are presently relocating the vault's libraries to the cathedral, in case you were unaware. We had finished delivering a patch of tomes and were on our way to bring over another. As we approached the Hoplon, we noticed a young man walking unsteadily. No sooner had he come to an abrupt halt than he transformed into a draconic beast. The fiend fixed us with a menacing glare. It was all we could do to find our wits and flee. But to my compounding horror, my brethren who were with me began to turn into monstrosities as well, one after another.
Praise the Fury that you at least were spared, Deacon Clem. I cannot imagine how frightening the experience must have been. Oh no. More church people. Sus.
Bishop Vartenois.
Forgive me if I interrupt.
I was informed that our stalwart protectors were present and wished to express my gratitude. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your service. I pray that we shall soon be free of this scourge. Indeed, if there is aught we might do to aid your efforts, you need but to say it.
I don't like his mustache. His mustache is sus. You are most kind, Your Grace. Look at me. Even my avatar knows that he's suspicious. That was Bishop Vatenois, the head of Saint Romanald's and a member of the Synod.
With the seat of the Archbishop vacant, he is in fact the highest authority in the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. This is so, yet in spite of his elevated station, he remains as kind and humble a man as I have ever known. Like his grace, I would do all that I can to help shepherd our people through this uncertain time. To that end, there is a request I would make of you, if you can spare a moment to consider it. Of course, if it is within our power, we would be glad to offer you aid. Thank you.
What do you want, Clem? You'll see references to Megumin, a mage girl who only learned explosion and no other spells. It is essentially a single-use nuke, and she loses all her magic for the day. As a result, Megumin spends a huge amount of the show unable to even stand, and the party has to pick her up and carry her to safety. But she's like the ultimate, safety switch. And then what? At the end of the show, she learns another spell that miraculously can help save everybody.
In the wake of the transformations, a group of clergymen fled the city in fear. Yet, though they sought refuge in the wilderness, they put themselves at the mercy of the elements and fell fiends both. Given that the cause of the transformation is not clear, I think theirs was a decidedly unwise decision. I wish to set out and find them, but I am not trained in the ways of war. As such, I require those who are to accompany me in the search. So that is the way of it. Suffice it to say, we will help. Do you know whither your fellows may have headed? The Western Highlands, I believe, between Gorganye Field Mills and Hemlock. There is no shortage of abandoned dwellings in the area. Very well. Time being of the essence, I propose we split up and scour separate areas. Dorbay, if you could escort the good deacon to Gorganye Mills, Lord Artoriel and I will attend to Hemlock. Amric, are you sure that you wouldn't want me to go with you instead? Like, it's fine. Like, okay, I'll go with Clem. It's fine. It's fine. Ishgard's fine. Where are we going? Like, Ishgard is just really depressing sometimes, and I have to be in the mood for it. I like the other zones in Ishgard, like in the other Heavensward zones, but Ishgard's just very depressing, and I can't be here without thinking about all the class problems that are going on here. Or were going on here, and are kind of still going on here. And the priests creep me out. Oh, look. I missed, Oh, there's a person up here. Oh, no. Hold on. Are you okay? Well, I can't really do much for you, but I will just do my lookout. No? Is this a prayer one? No? Alright, well, I'll just have to remember to come back. Oh, no, it says right there. It says in my chat box, it says to press rally. Oh, I'm probably rallying this person to actually, like... Can I just click this? Can. The Pike, a monumental stone sculpture carved in the likeness of Haldreth, the first Azure Dragon. The stonemason Purcell devoted 30 of her later years chiseling the piece, and it has stood for more than 150 years since. Even today, one cannot find a more stirring tribute to one of Ishgard's founding fathers. But this person's not getting down. Alright, well, I'd offer you a ride, but this is a single-seat cockpit. I was talking to somebody today about the Final Fantasy, the new expansion, and I told him the name, and he heard Evercold, and he goes, "Yeah, really? Are people really looking for another like ice area?" And I was thinking about it, and I mean, we got Garlemald in the last expansion. That wasn't too bad, but I don't think anybody ever says their favorite area to explore is, you know, Korthus. The snow areas don't really seem to be super popular. So I hope they do something a little bit different than just like snow plains or ice cliffs. Uh, you know, be creative with it. You! Ah, I see you found them. Yes, and none the worse for wear, thank the Fury. My friends, forgive us if we have given cause for alarm. We come out of concern for your well-being. Though we understand why you quit the city, we fear you may have placed yourself at greater risk by coming here. His grape, oh god. His Grace, Bishop Vartanois, too, worries for your health and prays for your swift return, so please, will you not allow us to escort you to the Holy See? I assure you, you will be much safer there than in this wretched place. Servants of the Fury will never be safe in the city, don't you see? This is your fault. You and your accursed revolution. The people disdain us, mock us behind our backs, and spit in our faces. And now someone is conspiring to transform us into monstrosities. Enemies of the church, I'll wager, emboldened by your deeds. So no, I will not go back to Ishgard. I'd sooner freeze to death than suffer your pity. Oh no. Somebody tell him to calm down. What? All I have ever done was in service to her. I am a good man. I do not... She cannot forsake me. Ah, hello and preserve us. Not interested in us. Just walked right off. Okay. We need to go take care of that. That's gonna hurt somebody. Dolbey, we cannot allow him to harm any others. Give chase and do what you must. We will remain here and keep the others calm. The deserts are worse. Says before, but at most there will be one actual snow zone. I mean, yeah, I figured it's gonna be like a Heavensward thing, right? This is really the only snow zone in Heavensward that was introduced. Everything else was, you know, different. The deserts are
fine. Again, it's another setting where you can only do so much. My personal opinion, I hate swamps. Swamp zones in an RPG MMO are the worst. When I was playing Elder Scrolls Online, I got to the expansion with the swamp zone, and that was the last time I ever played that game. I do not like swamps. All right, bud. I'm gonna have to put you down. Yeah, I was practicing my black mage rotation while I was scavenging for certain like deer skins, just murdering deers by the dozens, and I was getting it down. I'm just missing. I think I was looking up for rotation guides, and I'm missing. For it to be fully complete, I'm missing Flare Star, which is level 100, which is, not. I'm almost there. Level 90. Like Southern Thanalan. Okay. Hate Amarang. Why do you just hate Amarang because of the... Well, Amarang is kind of dusty. It's like a little bit different. It's not a... I don't know. There is a difference. You are right. Amarang is worse. I like the high desert vibes of like central Thanalan. I want the Viking vibes. So I'm here for the new snow sun. Just don't do this. I want something other than this. And I'm sure when we go, it's just going to be super blizzardy and... has some decent diversity in Thanalan. You have... I'm going to assume... I mean, maybe that is trains. Trains. They did have a train track. So I'm going to go with, yeah, trains, Oasis, River Coast. A lot of the new Black Mage spells simply use the same slot as the existing spells. Paradox will change things since it's both instant cast and combos into other spells. Does it really? Paradox is supposed to be... It'll be here. Pretty sure. Is it done, Dolbe? Yeah, I killed the monster. My thanks. What happened is most regrettable, but we must be grateful that no one else came to harm. While you were gone, the deacon was able to convince the others to return to the city. Let us escort them back at once, and then reconvene at the congregation to consider our next course of action. For our purposes, we have the use of the strategy room. Announce yourself to the god without, and he shall show you in. Goodbye, Amir. Alrighty. Go ahead and head back to Foundation. Like Central Porthos Fort, you can discover under the ice and snow was a lush zone before. Yes, so I mean there is history with the zone, right? This was a zone that was used, unless I'm just totally making this up. It was a zone used in 1.0, so there is like stuff you can see behind it. You can see in our chat that BMR really wants a... There he is! Oh my gosh. That is disturbing. What are you... Oh no! I saw that clip you sent. I need to set it up. That's what happens when you're a giant lion man and you stick your head into something like a blue fruit and you have a shark as a minion. That's what happens to you. So Take that as a warning, kids. What's up with your gauntlets? What are those? Looks like you've plugged in a bunch of like Star Wars reactors in there. Alright. Well, I'd love to stay and talk to you, but Aymeric needs me. Lord Aymeric and Artorel wait you in the strategy room. Will you be joining them? Yeah, let me in. Lest you wonder, we have taken the clergymen to St. Raymonau's to rest and recover. If truth be told, the thought that they may still succumb to despair and turn remains at the forefront of my mind. The risk would be greater still were we to keep them at arm's length and deny them the comfort of the church. Indeed, from the words he spoke, that Inquisitor yearned for the days of old. He and others like him can scarcely be blamed, since the truth of the nation's founding and the Archbishop's machinations were made public knowledge. The Church has been in turmoil. Though we have made great strides in separating religion and state, there has been far less progress in the reformation of the Church. For our faith has been everything to us, our purpose and our comfort. 'Tis not an easy thing to reconcile one's beliefs with the betrayal of their spiritual leaders. Yeah, it would really suck if your new Archbishop turned out to be a bad person. Thus, torn between their hearts and minds, many Ishgardians feel lost, and none more so than members of the clergy, whose faith was once unshakable. Little wonder, then, that the most dedicated and devout are like to turn. Though it seems, but further investigation is needed ere we draw a definite conclusion. With the war's end, Ishgard has set out on a new path. The choices we make now shall determine our course for the future. Come what may, we dare not squander the chance we have fought so hard to attain. Once the returned clergymen have sufficiently calmed down, I shall have the deacon speak with them, and we might gain insight into their individual plights. Good. Meanwhile, I shall take the opportunity to brief my men on recent developments. Pray, take a moment's rest, my friend. You have earned it. When you are ready to continue our work, you may seek us out here. Let's do it. So, in effort to separate church and state, I thought Aymeric had become like the leader of the church, but it would make sense that he wouldn't want that responsibility. No forgiveness, no deliverance. Artoriel is eagerly awaiting Deacon Clem's report. Ah, Dolbay, your timing could not be better. Deacon Clem has finished speaking with the rescued clergyman and will be here shortly to find his findings. Lord Aymeric too is on his way. Let us wait for them. Yeah, I mean, the blasphemy from the Gridania quest was, an actually good person. I don't remember what the ones from the healer quest was, but, it's just people giving into despair. Could be anybody. I think that's the point, is that it could happen to anybody. Deacon Clem, we thank you for making the inquiries on our behalf. It was no imposition in the least. As I said, I am glad to do all I can. So, 'tis our understanding that those we escorted back were all close acquaintances of the Inquisitor who turned. Like him, they too had been the subject of harassment by certain quarters of the populace. Is this correct?
It is, I'm afraid. They are far from alone. Men of the cloth were once afforded respect and deference as servants of Halone, but now they are openly reviled by many. We were complicit in perpetuating terrible lies, this is true, but we too were misled. We too are victims, yet we are regarded by some as criminals.
Well, do I understand the people's anger? But it saddens me to think that they would thus lash out at their fellow man, especially when we need solidarity most of all. Though I can imagine your plight, I would not presume to fully grasp your pain. Will you tell us of the challenges you and yours have had to face since the war's end?
Like all sons and daughters of Ishgard, we dreamed of peace in our lifetime. But now that it has come, we find we have little cause to rejoice. Our faith has long been the foundation of our lives. Overnight, that foundation has been crippled by fractures, beyond repair for some. To learn that we had been deceived, that we had unwittingly deceived others in turn, was devastating. We, who had once been shepherds to men, found ourselves lost lambs, bereft of surety and wanting for guidance. We have languished in darkness, all of us. Yet, I have faith that the Church will redeem itself, that it will find a new path, and again become a beacon of hope for the people.
I see. Thank you for sharing this with us. Your testimony has confirmed our suspicions. According to our allies, that which causes people to turn is none other than despair and anguish. If it wasn't before, 'tis now abundantly clear why members of the clergy are among the transformed. That you did not, I believe, is due to your unwavering faith in the Church. In light of this, we would ask for your continued cooperation.
Of course, anything to help my brethren. Now that we have established the cause, that leaves us with the mystery of profane Fafnir's identity. The progenitor of these troubles, could he too have been a man of the cloth? From what I recall of his garb, I doubt it. He was dressed in the common fashion, and inadequately against the cold besides. Tis said
that something of the individual may remain in the blasphemy, influencing its behavior. If we can determine what instincts drive profane Fafnir, we may learn who it once was, and this knowledge, I believe, will prove vital in our efforts to stop it. Deacon Clem, we ask that you reach out to your fellow clergymen. Please do what you can to ease their anxieties.
Understood. As I have ever done, I shall provide what comfort I can to those in need.
Meanwhile, we must make it a priority to identify the blasphemy. To that end, I would seek out more eyewitnesses. The Hoplon is a busy place at any given time. Some ordinary citizens are bound to have been present at the tragic event unfolded. I propose we make inquiries in the pillars. If you could attend to the Hoplon, Lord Artoriel and I will look in the surrounding areas. I think the general theme, of the Endwalker is that blasphemies weren't bad people. Folks like the cult lady and the ranged quest were about the worst of it in terms of wanting to do bad themes. Central Corthus is cool because it wasn't always ice, but we didn't see that, so really the statues and structures are cool, but otherwise it is basically one color.
Yeah, it's just white. It's just white, and then it's always a blizzard, so it's even more white. Another common theme of these quests has been go and talk to eyewitnesses. Like, do these people who know maybe important information not coming forward? No, I didn't see that dragon, nor would I've wished to, frightful as it sounds. They say it wasn't a Dravanian attack, but if not, then what was it? That's true. They're talking a lot about the church. I would be more concerned about these people's reaction to a dragon attacking people. Like, that's, that was a big thing, that the dragons were no longer supposed to be eating people. And now it's back. The dragon that appeared at the Hoplon. Aye, I saw it with my own eyes. One moment in Ellison. Next, a terrible beast. He was a heretic, I take it. Alleged heretic. A staid citizen? I wasn't present for the incident at the Hoplon, but a young man poorly dressed for the cold, that I did see. I recall him well because an aide from St. Vaindrew's was searching for him. He was a patient at the infirmary and by coincidence had the same name. Interesting. So he was a patient. We'll walk. Will you two figure anything out? There you are, Dolbe. Did your search yield any fruit? Patients of the Firmament's infirmary, you say? Among those with whom we spoke, one claims to have witnessed an individual fitting that description. A man walking in a stupor. No, did not seem to feel the cold. If he had wandered straight out of the infirmary, it would explain his state of attire. Yes, I dare say we have found our blasphemy. But to think that his name should be Vaindro. That means something to me? That's supposed to mean something to me? 'Tis the same as that of former Heaven's Ward Commander, Sir Vaindro de Rochemond, for whom the infirmary is named. Sir Vaindro, however, retired from his station at a ripe old age some years ago. 'Tis not like to have been him. In any case, we have the lead. I shall head to the infirmary at once. Pray wait for me in the broom. Probably like his, son. Wait, you want me to go down here? Nope, I've missed my turn. No, I haven't missed my turn? Hold on. Okay, hold on. I gotta turn this damn quest off.
It is off. Okay, well, I know where that is. It's down here. Amric, are you over here in this little corner? There it is. It's tucked away behind all these other quests. This is Lovric, the aide who was in charge in Vaindro. The aide who was in charge of Vaindro. Have you found him? Oh, please say you have. We have not, I am afraid. But we seek to, and hope that you could tell us more about him. May we ask how he came to be at the infirmary? He was found by a patrol in the Central Highlands. After being treated for his hurts, he was brought to us for convalescence. Being in the prime of his years, he had been doing well, but then... Prime of his years? By all accounts, he is no old man. It seems safe to assume it isn't Sir Vaindro. Oh no, he's definitely a different person, as I told Lord Arterial. And though he gave his name as Vaindro, he seemed rather confused, and we had no means to confirm his identity. In his state, we shouldn't be wandering about on his own. Please, you must find him. I'm afraid he probably turned into a dragon. So... The man who recently turned into a beast at the Hoplon. We regret to say it may have been Vaindro. What? No. How can this be? Is there aught else you can tell us? Things he may have said or done while in your care? While he was still unconscious, he would often ramble. Though most of it was incoherent, he mentioned the Archbishop many times. Oh, and he spoke of a bishop too. Bishop Vatunor. I assumed he was a pious man, given this. Interesting. Old priest being sus. I see. Thank you for your cooperation. We will continue our investigation and, should we confirm what became of Vaindro, inform you forthwith. Let us return to the congregation for now. Surprised I'm not wearing my Bainrick outfit. But if I was wearing the Bainrick outfit, then how would I know which Bainrick was the real Bainrick? I think through here. No, through here. To the strategy room. Yes, let me in. One without the bunny ears? You sure? Sure. Maybe. Possibly. The mystery remains, but we are one step closer to identifying the man who became Profane Fafnir. Indeed. Though he did not at first appear to be a member of the clergy, his words betray a fervent faith. And how curious that he should speak not only of the Archbishop,
but Bishop Vartenois specifically. I think we should just burn the bishop. I mean, just to be safe. Seems like a good idea. Perhaps he was personally acquainted with his grace. In light of the possibility, I believe we should speak with him directly. Agreed. I will request an audience, but his grace has many demands upon his time. It may be a while before we are seen. Should you have any other business, pray feel free to attend to them in the meantime. Burn out the bed. No, not the milk. Oh, God. I think I had finally purged that man from my memories until you brought that up. That dude was the worst. And people say bad things about Xenos, alright? I mean, Xenos wasn't that bad. The look of relief upon Artorio's face bespeaks your timely arrival. Dorbay, excellent timing as ever. Deacon Clem has just sent word that Bishop Vartenois will see us now. By which I mean right this instant. It is extremely short notice, I know. It would not do to miss the opportunity to learn how he and Vaindro might be connected. Not wishing to keep his grace waiting, Lord Aymeric is already on his way to St. Romano's Cathedral. Come, let us hurry there ourselves. I understand the bishop is a busy man. I feel like the blasphemy might push us up his schedule just a little bit. No, I'm sure he's giving blessings and whatnot. Probably turning people into dragons. He wasn't even a good bad guy, he was just bad guy. Right? Like, a lot of the bad guys are... They have at least some reasoning behind what they're doing. Xenos was just bored. That guy was just jealous. I mean, I guess he did have a reason. He was jealous of... I'm blanking. Jealous of the you know, the guy. My lords, I am so sorry. I informed his grace that you were making your way hither. Gaius, thank you. But shortly before you arrived, he recalled that he had urgent business and had to leave the cathedral at once. He cannot yet have gone far, though, so if you wish to search for him in the hopes that you can still steal a moment of his time... Grant us an audience only to depart with such haste. What business could be so pressing? Yeah, he's gonna be late for his appointment with the bonfire. Is that you down there? I think I see him. Yeah, but Milkman was just jealous of Gaius. So, it was a little bit more petty. Well now, but even the savior of Ishgard should be here. Your Grace, perhaps 'tis simply our misunderstanding, but we were under the impression that you would grant us an audience. Lord Speaker, rest assured I was just about to return to the cathedral. There is no need, Your Grace. This will not take long. As you may have heard, we are investigating a young man named Vaindro. Is he known to you? No, I cannot say he is. With the exception of the former Archmandrite, I am sure I know no one by that name. But mine and the Archbishop's are known to many, yes. Perhaps Perhaps this youth took inspiration from public services over which we presided. Goodly soul that he is. Oh, glad am I that his faith was of comfort to him in his sickness, and I pray to Halone that he will soon be found in good health. And now then, if there was nothing else, I shall return to my duties. Oh no. I'm having an echo attack. Oh boy. What's going on here? Fear not, your eminence. I shall carry on your legacy. We have completed the preparations as per your instructions, but are you certain this will work? It will. It must. Lord Aymeric spoke the truth when he revealed the Archbishop sought primal powers to strengthen the people's faith. I could not bring myself to believe it, not at first, but in the course of cataloguing His Eminence's personal articles, I came upon his journal. Therein he had written that, through abundant aether and fervent prayer, it is possible to make gods of men. All the power we require lies in this place, this as is law. By channeling the essential elements into the soulless flesh and sword we found. We shall summon forth King Thodin and his 12 knights, and by his blessing Ishgard shall be restored to its former glory. Sure, yeah, that sounds good. That's a good plan. Has the clergy ever done anything good? That's a big sword. That's I'm pretty sure that's Thodin's sword. Which I guess we just left laying around. That sword is like 3 Elizin tall. What is this? It's just an ordinary man. Scarcely changed from before. Ooh, that's a concussion. Just bashed his head against that floor. Oh, no, he's still awake. His Eminence, I must protect. Ugh. No. No, this isn't right. Confound it. Perhaps I overlooked something. Must return to the Holy See and review the journal. Your Grace, what shall we do with this thing? Leave it. It's a failure, without use or value. The denizens of this place will deal with it soon enough. Alright, I will just leave it here. If I was a criminal, right? How am I supposed to do my job if the Warrior of Light is walking around having flashbacks to the moments I committed the crime and then can just point a finger at me and say they did bad things. There's no competition there. There's no getting away with anything. Dorbe, are you well? Were you perchance granted a vision of the past? Aemric knows me. He knows what happens. An attempted summoning of King Thordan and his Knights 12. That one? With the bad mustache? Oh, shit. Your Grace, you should know full well that summoning is strictly forbidden. You will accompany us to the congregation and explain yourself. Somebody shoot him. I have dedicated my life to the church, conducted my affairs in accordance with the scriptures and something else, but you took it all from us, tore down everything that defined us. You cannot know how it feels to have your very existence rejected, to be forsaken by your community, to be denied by your society. Well, I deny you and this justice. I deny an Ishgard where the church has no place. I refuse to accept it. Do you hear me? I refuse to accept it. Well. Get him. Get smote. Your Grace, no! Seriously, the clergy sucks. Has the clergy ever done anything good? That it should come to violence yet again. But that your hand had not been forced, my lord. Deacon Clem shall not be alone at this time. I shall remain with him while tending to the aftermath. When things have settled, I will return to the congregation. Pray, go on ahead and get some rest. Okay. I feel like I'm just a passenger on this story. The irony of accusing Ishgardians of discriminating against the clergy and attacking them when they do stuff like they do, right? Aemric kind of does know what it's like to be rejected. Yeah, I was about to say, like, his own father kind of abandoned him, if I remember correctly. We're going to the strategy room. Get on here. His own father rejected him. Like, he's been kind of cast aside most of his life. It's only very recently he has come to be accepted. Alright. Well, good thing Clem kept his cool. I thought he would freak out too. But I guess he's made of sterner stuff. How fares the deacon? Well enough, given the circumstances. Though understandably shaken, he is more determined than ever to help his fellows. Truly, he is possessed of a stout heart. But to think that even a member of the Synod could succumb to despair and turn. The crisis gripping the church is far graver than I had imagined. Pushing for such an abrupt separation of religion and state, he may have exacerbated the growing divide between the clergy and the general populace. Gobe, will you recount in full what you witnessed in your vision? Yeah, there was a man, there was a giant sword, there's that guy with the mustache up in Az's Law.
Clem represents the actual good clergy, I guess, because they can't all be bad, right? No, like 5% max are like good guys, and everybody else, there's 15% that are just in it for the nice retirement bonus, and everybody else sucks, and they're schemy and slimy. And I really think it's Yoshi P his critique on religion. That he should seek to use one of Alec's unholy abominations to create a primal. That which manifested was not like the being you fought, but rather retained the form of a man, one driven by the desire to protect the Archbishop. We may assume the bishop did not have sufficient aether. Bereft of Nidog's eye, the sword of Ascalon no longer has such power. Nor does that of the warring triad remaining to be harnessed, thanks to your valorous intervention. But if the summoning failed, how did the clone come to possess life? And what purpose drives it? Lack of aether notwithstanding, the necessary components were present for a summoning. Perhaps the ritual itself was a success, and the vessel, though imperfect, arose as a champion of the Archbishop. But how did he come to be in the Central Highlands? You believe that this clone and the man who became the blasphemy are one and the same? Nay, I merely speculate. Yet, considering what we know of the clone and Vaindro, it would seem a likely possibility. Whatever the truth may be, it will not elude us forever. But first, I must lay some groundwork for the next phase of our investigation. God's permitting, I will have news to share ere long, so pray look in on us when you can. Alright, that's halfway. So far, the story is... it's decent. It's reinforcing my dislike of the clergy. And I do feel like a lot of these quests, I said it before, I am just a passenger. Like, I don't feel like I am in control of the flow of the quest, which is fine. I'm helping how I can. I have my vision. Dorbe, you are ever a sight for sore eyes. Ill tidings, my friends. I dispatched the Temple Knights to find the clergymen who aided in Bishop Baltinois' summoning attempt. Regrettably, when confronted, all turned and had to be put down. Without their accounts, how then to ascertain that the clone and Vaindro are the same individual? Maintaining the assumption that they are, perhaps we should instead consider how Vaindro may have found his way to Corthus. According to Dorbe's vision, he was abandoned in Az's law. But what did he do afterwards? Then there is but one way to ascertain the truth. We must follow his trail. I shall go and search for the clone in Az's law. If he is still there, then we are dealing with a different individual. A splendid idea. We leave the floating continent in your capable hands. Meanwhile, Dorbe and I shall retrace Vaindro's steps whence he first appeared. Upon being found in the Central Highlands, he was taken to Camp Dragonhead. Let us begin by making inquiries there. Actually, Bayrick, I think he was found in that, nice cafe in Ishgard. We can stop by there, maybe have a drink or something. No? Alright, we'll circle around to that. Frickin' Reaper. Alrighty, to Camp Dragonhead. Been here in a minute. What you looking at? Just snow? I guess just keep an eye on those sheep down there. Hmm? Investigating the stranger we found, are you? I wasn't involved myself, so I can't tell you how much about the fellow. But in case it is of interest, earlier the same day, I caught sight of an airship flying dangerously low. It soon disappeared into the brewing snowstorm, looking none too steady. Your exchange with Theobalin has taught you about an airship flying low. Let's go see what's happening in here. Nini? Nina? Nene? Well now, if it isn't the late Lord Hochefont's dear friend. Is there something you require? Why would you bring that up? You know that's a sore subject for me. Ah yes, the mystery man. I was among those who attended him. He was not attired for the snow, much less the snowstorm in which he had been caught, and was suffering from frostbite. When people are extremely cold, they may mistakenly feel that they are warm and disrobe. That might explain his state of undress. Your exchange with Nini has taught you about Vaindro's state when he was found. Alright, so it sounds like a bunch of sky pirates showed up, robbed him of all his clothing, and then dropped him in the snow. Manny, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be in, like, Oh, and they got the picture up, too. Damn. Manny, shouldn't you be in Charlian? Ah, 'tis ever an honor to receive you. What brings you to our humble camp this day? An injured man who was found out in the wilds? Yes, I know the one. I was with the patrol that chanced into him north of here, at Providence Point. He was unconscious and in a bad way, and we hurriedly bore him back to camp. After doing what we could for him, we sent him on to the city. Your exchange with Yael has taught you about where Vandro was found. Okay, Sky Pirates kidnapped him, took his clothes, then dropped him off. The giant robot. Clem is a terrible name. What's wrong with Clem? Clem is fine. Clam. There you are. Were you able to learn aught of interest? Yes, I found these notes. Scribbled these down real quick. Theory, Sky Pirates. A mysterious man found collapsed after an airship was seen flying low. Yes, the accounts I heard are consistent with yours. I, for one, am curious about the fate of this unknown airship. To that end, I have arranged a pair of black chocobos for us, the more efficiently to scour the area. We shall contain our search to Providence Point, where Vaindro is said to have been found. This is definitely a date. You all ready? Let us be off. Oh, it's on autopilot. I can just watch. It's fantastic. Manny was given responsibility for the fort. Manny is supposed to be back in Charlie, and I mean, I don't think it's too far of a... I mean, Corthus is kind of in the middle. That would be kind of a drive back and forth. Or they'll use a crystal. That would make sense. So, Amric, what are you doing? Oh, okay. We can stop. Nothing so far. Let's continue to the northeast. So you get out much? Get to the bar? Forgotten Night? Good drinks there. Found any other adventurers and made them dinner? I wouldn't be mad, you know, just... It's okay, you're right. We should focus on the quest. The dragon looks really cool. I like the blue dragon. And he looks a little derpy. By the fury, it's the blasphemy. Hold on, having an echo attack. This is why you don't get summoned and drive. Remember, gang, if you are under the influence of a primal, always call your nearest chocobo porter. Give you a ride. His eminence must protect his eminence. So is this one of the knights that we fought? I can't tell if he's talking about Thornton or if he's talking about the Pope when he says his eminence. Ah, you're finally awake. Alone be praised. How are you feeling? Strong enough to speak? Can you tell me your name? My name is Zephyrin? No. Charabert? Was it Elguin? Polocrane? So many names swirling in my mind, and voices that reject them. Is there none that they will accept? Are you alright? I don't know what that was about. Vaindro. My name is Vaindro. Well now, that's the same as our infirmary. I dare say fate has guided you to us. So, Vaindro, if you are feeling up to a little conversation, can you tell me about yourself? Anything else you remember? Anything at all? Proud son of House Zemel, nay, a devout servant of Helon, who lives for the rush of battle, the pleasure in inflicting pain, the attention of maidens, to fight beside my brother in arms. Low-born runt, whose every effort were unrewarded, whose very name disqualified him from ever leading the Temple Knights, but his eminence raised me up, granted me a place at his side. So he's got like a bunch of different souls within him. From that day forth, I pledged my sword to his service, pledged my very being, my life to be offered up in defense of his. I am a knight of the Heaven's Ward, sworn to protect and serve the Archbishop. Oh, you're a knight? Forgive me if that sounded rude, but I had no idea. And while I realize your memory may be a bit muddled,
I'm afraid I must inform you that the Heaven's Ward have not been seen in quite some time and are presumed dead, and the Archbishop, well, he is most certainly no longer of this world. Ooh. But the important thing is you're safe now, and we'll help you get back on your feet. Speaking of which, let me bring you some food and water. You must be absolutely famished. The Archbishop? Dead? No. No, this cannot be. How can I still be alive when he is not? I must find him. They move in like it's. I think that actually is true, isn't it? Like some of the people from the Rods at Han area did move in and are now part of Charlian. Dolbay. Oh, yeah, sorry. I was spacing out there for a second. Dragon. Got it. You know who would love this? Justinian. I think I have him on my phone. I can give him a call. He could probably just jump here in a couple minutes. For the glory of King Thordan. All right. Bye. Another vision, I take it. Let us make for Ishgard. I expect that Lord Artorel will return soon. He is not already, and we should be glad to hear the tale. It's fine. I will teleport myself. So, Ruark, did you get all your blue mage moves all figured out? Ready to grind fates tomorrow? And is that your final outfit for your blue mage? It's definitely a choice. You're gonna stand out in the group. Banana and Ginger helped me get them at the end of last stream. Basically, it's just the suck and cock. Okay. Got it. You know what? If that doesn't describe the blue mage arsenal, I don't think anything does. I myself went with the Dragon Quest blob head. I felt like that was very blue mage. But I liked yours. Yours was definitely of the blue mage quality. Ah, Dolbay. I pray your search was more productive than mine own. Everyone is here? Excellent. So, were you able to find our clone in Az's Law? Nay, not but the discarded Ascalon remains. Now fared you with your own efforts in the Central Highlands?
course of retracing Vaindro's steps, we came upon the wreck of the Soleil. I suspect he found the vessel abandoned in Azizlar and tried to use it to return to Ishgard. But he crashed en route and was subsequently rescued by a patrol from Camp Dragonhead. So it would seem. And the Archbishop's airship was not the only thing we found. Profane Fafnir was there too. The creature chose to flee, but not before Dorbay had a vision of Vaindro's past. Go on, my friend. Share with us what you witnessed. All the pieces fit, and it is as you surmised, my lord. Vaindro and the clone are one and the same, and in his despair, he turned into the blasphemy. Yet the confusion he exhibited when asked his name, 'tis as if he wasn't sure of his own identity. According to the Scions, primals retain the memories of their previous incarnations. From this, it must be assumed that the clone harbors the memories of all those who became King Thordan and his Knights 12. Though he struggled to reconcile these conflicting memories, he managed to settle on the name Vaindro. The voices within were clearly in agreement when facing Dorbay, the mere sight of whom drove the blasphemy to flee. Shucks. Above all, however, they share in the desire to protect the Archbishop. This desire was seared into Vaindro's very being, and when he learned that he no longer had a purpose, when he found that he lost his purpose, he turned into a dragon. The Heaven's Ward took up arms against us and Ishgard. By their hand, we were robbed of one of our finest knights, a dear friend. Even so, I would not wish such a terrible fate upon them. The self-same fate inflicted upon full many clergymen, the fate I fear ordinary citizens will succumb to if we fail to act. The people will not soon forget the betrayal of our church's leadership, nor should they. But, absent the comfort and stability once afforded to them by the institution, many have become lost, and are all too vulnerable to despair. The people who don't have to forget, but they need to move forward. The church can still be a source of comfort, but things need to change. Please don't go back to the church. The church is full of slimy clergymen. I thought as much myself, my friend, but to hear you say it is as well. Indeed, when the ground upon which we stand crumbles, we must find the strength to move forward, even should it cause us pain to do so. Lord Artoriel, at the next house session, I shall call for an economical council to be held. An economical council? My lord, such a gathering is reserved for... Oh, you intend for the church to codify new doctrine. Since the separation of religion and state, we have refrained from interfering in church affairs. But if the church is to remain a part of Ishgardian society and continue serving the people, it must reconsider its role and formally address recent revelations. I would call for this council not as the Lord Speaker, but as a humble adherent of the faith. Long had I considered whether such measures were necessary, but lacked the courage to set them in motion. I now have it thanks to you. Amric, man, I appreciate you, but this is really something you should have done 2 expansions ago. I feel like we all knew the church was pretty messed up at the end of Heavensward. I know you've been busy, but I shall tend to the necessary preparations at once. Among other things, we must reach out to those of the clergy who are amenable to reform. I ask for your patience in the meantime. I think we're going to have to start with Clem. He seems like a good egg. But there's Clem. There's the one student guy I was helping in the investigation, like the detective quest. He seemed all right. I really think that's it. Those are the only two that come to mind. Oh, mighty fury, guide us to victory. The set of Artorel's jaw betrays a hint of anxiety. And we also get some coconut cod chowder. Ah, Dolbay. Owing to Lord Amrick's swift action, I am pleased to say that the Economical Council will soon be held. In case you are unaware, the Council is the highest assembly in the Ishgardian Orthodox Church, its purpose to deliberate and decide upon doctrine. The previous one was held no less than 80 years ago, and 4 archbishops have since come and gone. As such, most Ishgardians know little of it save which they have read in the historical records. Additionally, the archbishop and members of the synod would meet behind closed doors. In light of Bishop Vatuno's fate, however, this time the doors will be thrown open to the public. Smart. I think, maybe. Indeed, for the first time in history, all men and women of the faith may have a hand in shaping the mission and the teachings of the Church. Hi, Clem. It is my hope that you will also join us in this endeavor. Deacon Clem, allow me to express our gratitude for your efforts in facilitating the council. We appreciate the difficulty of your position. I merely heed my conscience and my faith, my lord. Acting in Bishop Bartono's stead, I shall do all within my power to see that the Church may serve the people once more. Where is the Lord Speaker, if I may ask? He stepped outside for a moment, saying that he wished to gather his thoughts ahead of the council. The hour draws nigh, however. Dorbay, I shall proceed to the vault with the good deacon. In the meantime, may I ask you to find Lord Amrick? He should be at the last vigil, I believe. Alrighty, let's go find Amrick. That's a cool sword. Hey, Amrick. How you doing? Feeling good? It's a little cold out. We can just hang out here. It's fine. What about me, you, Economical Council? Oh, is you, my friend. Is it time already? I see. My apologies for making you come and fetch me. I have been thinking, Dolbay, on the path I have chosen to walk, and on those who have been left behind as a consequence of my actions. Those who died fighting, those burdened with boundless grief, those deprived of position and purpose. Like any nation, Ishgard is made up of disparate souls with disparate beliefs. Without an enemy to unite us, we recall the differences we once set aside out of necessity, and find amongst our old friends new ideological foes. The future I had envisioned. 'Tis far more difficult to secure than I ever imagined. What must I do for our people to live in harmony? For our nation to move forward as one? Such questions I have been pondering. We should begin making our way to the council. Shall we continue our conversation while we walk? Sure, yeah. I can hang out. Ready? Then let us be off. If it is agreeable, I would like to look on Four Thames Manor. Feels like another age that you and yours were no more than foreign wards of House Fortin. And in actual fact, it may be considered so. For your coming set in motion a chain of events that brought an end to the Dragon Song War, ushering in a new age of harmony. You paved the way for your meaningful change in our nation. For that you shall ever have my gratitude. Now then, shall we continue on to the architects? For the least populous city, I do feel like there is still plenty of players that just idle in Ishgard. It is a calming place, but it's just never sunny here. I think I've been here the entire time. I haven't seen a blue sky. King Thordan and his Knights 12, the murderers of Bratatoskar. Since the truth of their ancient crime came to light, many have demanded that these images be torn down. Yet though what our founding fathers did was wrong, neither it is right to simply expunge them and their deeds from history. To do so would be to deny our people's part in what followed for 1,000 years. We have the chance to forge a new future, but we as a nation must decide how we will confront our past. Forgive me, I was lost in thought yet again. Let us join Deacon Clem at the vault. Clem. There you are, my friends. The council is about to convene. Let us take our places in the audience hall. Are there not dragons that are just still around on our side that are allied to us? Could they come help us with the, dragon? I think if we get, 3 dragons down here, we could probably beat it. Esteemed members of the clergy and honored adherents of the faith, I thank you all for your attendance. In recent days, our nation has been racked by a series of tragedies. Those among us who do Halon's work have been transformed into abominations. This dreadful phenomenon has been brought about by the final days, and it is upon our despair and anguish that it feeds. Thus, if we are to prevent further tragedy, we must strive to ensure that all Ishgardians, clergymen and citizens alike, abide with peace and love for one another in their hearts. To that end, have I called this ecumenical council, the first in generations, that we might together determine a path forward for the Church and our society as a whole.
Since antiquity, the Ishgardian Orthodox Church served the people in two respects: as the Fury Spear to strike at the heart of dragonkind, and as the Fury's shield to safeguard the souls of men. But now that we are at peace with the Dravanians, the Church need no longer serve as the spear, and so we must now reconsider how we might fight better, how we might better serve as a shield for our brethren. The hierarchy must be reformed, and for that we need accountability. The upper echelon must be stripped of rank at a minimum, and investigations conducted, trials held if the evidence is sufficiently damning, and then we may turn our attention to their doctrine of lies. As our predecessors did before us, we of the Synod have ever sought to interpret the scriptures to the best of our ability, and thence conveyed Helone's will to the people. That fervent pursuit of retribution at the expense of doctrine would come also at the expense of our faith. You... Have we won the war to lose our souls? Oh, Helone, are we outside your grace?
No, don't give in to despair, people. No, this is the whole point. And everybody calm down. I will cast Flare on the entire audience if I see one glimmer of cloud. This bodes ill. At this rate, someone might turn. Since the war's end, the Church and the faithful have stood at a crossroads, unable to take the next step forward. His Grace, Bishop Vartanwar, may he walk in Helone's halls, was one such soul, and in his longing for simpler times, he resorted to using forbidden magics. He succumbed to despair. In our minds, we renounce the lies upon which our nation was built, but in our hearts, we yearn for the righteousness, misguided though it was, that gave us comfort and purpose for so long. So, let us not forget who we were. Let us confront the mistakes of the past and learn from them, that we do not repeat the mistakes of our forefathers. Let's vote Amric for bishop. Who said that?
As fervently as we believed in our sacred duty, we struggled to accept the Church's deception and embrace change. The legacy of Thornton weighs heavy, and there is the temptation to simply cast it aside like a mantle that suits us no longer. Yet that would dishonor the sacrifice of those who went before, countless souls who served the people with purest intent. And so, heavy though it may be, let us together bear this burden as we set forth anew. Our friend D'Orbay risked life and limb to reveal the truth to us. The truth that our legends and our scripture were tainted by betrayal, but not wholly corrupted. Yeah, there's still good parts, probably, somewhere. Though the great walls and towering spires of our city may have been built with murder and deception, they rest upon a foundation immutable and true, our devotion to Helone, whom we have worshipped since before our forefathers settled these lands. The Church is a font of practical wisdom, and its teachings guide us in our daily lives. Such things define our faith no less than the lies. We can acknowledge our sins without renouncing our religion. Aye, and without rejecting who we are. A comprehensive review of scriptures, as well as historical literature, will be necessary. Revisions, as appropriate, must be made to ensure that the truth of our past is preserved for future generations. Look at you two working together. With your peerless knowledge of church doctrine, I dare say none is better suited to leading that effort than you. I also expect that many eyes will be required to pore over all the tomes, and I know many idle men and women of faith who would jump at the chance to do Halone's work once more. That day, so very long ago, I had no answer to my father's words, but it seems the people had it in within them all along. Oh man, good meeting, guys. Good meeting. The thing that's interesting to me about this quest is the idea of the government being forced to mandate the people not mistreat people to the point that they despair. It'd be extreme in a normal world, but it's still interesting if making people severely unhappy was seen as a capital offense. Yeah, it's interesting because this one is... This one's a lot less personal, because I feel like we did tackle a lot of Aimric's personal deals. This one is more of a broad issue within Ishgard, right? It's the fact that the church string wasn't really tied up, like that thread of the plot. They're kind of just let to, oh, well, I hope they fix themselves. And that the government would have to step in. It's interesting and also kind of counterproductive to their entire thing of like separating church and state. But I guess it's an emergency and they need that to happen. The council went better than I had ever dared hope. Truly. While the details remain to be decided, it was a resounding success. Your words helped everyone to find common ground. I know not how to thank you. Much credit must go to Dolbe. In the face of great hardship, never did she hesitate to press on, and our people have not forgotten this. Thank you. Indeed. Well do I remember the day you flew into Ishgard upon a dragon's back. In making possible the impossible, you inspired us all. In you, we glimpsed the fury, a vision of courage in the face of uncertainty. Looking to your example, we shall endeavor to bring about the change to the church for the future of all Ishgardians. There will, of course, still be those souls who struggle to rise above the mire and despair, but my fellows and I shall be there to take their hand in faith and love. Job, Clem. For what is faith, if not salvation? Well, I had best return to the cathedral. We have much and more to do. Ah, but ere I forget, I have tracked down that which you requested. Some repairs will be necessary, but it will be seen to with all haste. What'd you get? The sword? I had tasked the deacon with finding a certain item, you see? A secret weapon, one might say. Given what we know of profane Fafnir, I suspect it will be of great use in our hunt. Once the repairs are complete, we shall be ready to strike. With the church having reached an accord with the people, the risk of more clergymen returning is greatly diminished. We may now focus entirely on the blasphemy. It is time we freed Vaindro from his torment. Rest while you can, Dorbay, for I dare say the coming battle will demand the best of us. I'll nod in a circle. Perfect. All right. Oh man, this is full. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick BRB. And then we will continue our hunt for this dragon, which we haven't really been doing this entire time. We were just kind of investigating who he used to be. So, but I'll be back just a minute. Alrighty, we are back. And ready to go slay a dragon. I have a banana. Are these materias ever useful to put in your weapons if you're not up to like current content? Our Torel has his sights set on profane Fafnir. Glad tidings, Dorbe. Since the Economical Council, not a single soul has turned. Safe in that knowledge, we need only think of how to hunt down the blasphemy. Ah, Dorbe, you are here too. Excellent. I am pleased to say that the secret weapon is ready. We may now look to dealing with profane Fafnir. As you will recall, when we last encountered it, it was lying in wait by the Soleil. An instinct driven by its disinherited memories, I believe. It seeks to protect that which it most strongly associates with the Archbishop. In all likelihood, 'twas this self-same motive that compelled it to come to the Holy See. From the skies above, it keeps watch over the Holy Vault. When next it descends, we shall exploit this instinct by using the secret weapon to lure it to the chancel. What exactly is this secret weapon? It is none other than the Fury's Grace, the holy crozier of the Archbishop. Suspecting that the Bishop Batenois had retrieved it from Azizla, I had Deacon Clem search his private quarters. My suspicions proved correct. With the crozier in hand, I shall make an irresistible bait for profane Fafnir. No! I mean, you're going to be playing tanks, so that's fine, but... My lord, it is an unconscionable risk. There is no telling how the blasphemy will react. Indeed, but we can be confident that I will command his undivided attention, thus ensuring that no more of our citizens are placed in harm's way. If the Heaven's Ward are the Archbishop's shields, then the Temple Knights are the people's. As leader of the Order, the risk is mine to bear. All the Knights of the Heaven's Ward fell in Azizla, as a vessel for their memories. Vane Dro may be considered the last of their number. Let us go, then, and relieve him of his... their duty. Sure, I can cast play. Let us see to our preparations and proceed to the vault. We finish this once and for all. Might as well slot them in. It's essentially free if you're a crafter. You could also try converting them at Mutamix or just flat out selling them on the market boards. Because, like, I have a few in my inventory. These are probably the new ones. And I imagine spell speed is probably for Black Mage. I can't do this anyway until I get to the job level. Oh. Alrighty, let's go. We're going to the vault? Yes, we are. I'm sure there's a materia guide I could look up. Or I know for the Arum Reborn materia relic, you needed to put a ton of materia into it. It doesn't feel like that's gonna happen again,
I could be wrong. All right, Amric, I am so ready for this. If you are ready, then let us set forth. You need but say the word. I hear him. The beast has come. Now is our chance. Or maybe Amric will be our healer if he's using the staff. Or Toriel is going to be our tank. I hope I'm not tanking. Make ready. To me, my knights. Master? You're not master. For the glory of King Thornton. No, you are not he. A trick. It is a trick. Forgive me, Sir Vandrew, but for the sake of all Ish Guardians, we must strike you down. All right, let's do it.
It ends here.
Oh crap. Has his name always been Amric the Blue?
You underestimate me. Bah.
Ooh. No. Arturo, get away from me.
Do not underestimate me.
Stay on your guard. I'm gonna come stand next to you, man. Scared. Oh, okay. Never mind. Bad place to be standing.
must stand our
Lord.
ground!
I wasn't paying attention to the order. I hope I'm standing in the right one. Okay.
You underestimate me!
I feel like I should be casting more AoE spells. Yeah, no. It's okay, Amber, hang in there. I'm trying. What does this do? Oh, that was cool. They both charged in. Are they both supposed to be paladins?
I will not falter!
And did he just use a... You guys are doing so great. Wanna be there. Oh crap. Oh no. Ow. You guys, I got hurt.
This knight does not yield!
This light is not needed. Almost there, man. Hang in there. We got him. Did we do it? I think we did it. I mean, blue is kind of his whole ensemble look. Even his sword is blue. I like it. Aymeric the Blue. Technically speaking, our brand of paladin is specifically tied to the Ul'dah Sultanate, but it seems fair to assume that other cultures could create their own brand of paladins. That would be cool if we could go around to other cultures and like learn their paladin sets. Especially once they change from job quest to role quest, once we start pioneering our individual version of when we started pioneering our own individual version of each job. This quest or tank quest? What? Alrighty. Finally, it is over. Beamar, you would love this quest. You just stand back and cast spells and don't really have to worry about too much. I have like 2 tanks in front of me. Thus ends the tale of the Heaven's Ward. Let it not be forgotten. It's okay. I didn't have to pay for Heaven's Word, so I'm not too upset that it's gone. 'Twas wrong of them to conceal the truth of our nation's founding, to abet the Archbishop in his machinations. Yet, in peering into their hearts, one thing became clear. They too had succumbed to primal manipulation. They too were victims. Flawed men, aye, and not without sin, but Ishgardians, brave and true, as we all aspire to be. Having triumphed in the battle of ideals, I have a responsibility to all our people. Their hopes and dreams, their sorrow and suffering are mine to bear, and bear them I shall. For had you not vanquished King Thordan, or had I erred in but one of my choices, I may well have been the first to succumb to despair, to be reborn a blasphemy. You wouldn't have turned. Not you. Never you. Thank you, my friend, for having such confidence in me. My apologies. It was not mine to intend to wax sentimental. Our work here is done. Let us return to the congregation. Dragon looked dope, but yeah, it seemed easy for the solo duty. It was. Barely broke a sweat. Messed up a few of my buttons. The general adoption of role quests when we stop learning jobs from mentors and become the mentors. Yeah, I don't really feel like I've learned anything. I've just been sort of been helping people. Yeah, it's not like I picked up any hints or anything. And well, they stopped hiding skills, right, behind the job quests. Because before you had to complete them in order to unlock certain abilities, but now it's just sort of now you just sort of pick them up by leveling up. Which, yeah, that's fine. I think people are throwing golf balls at my house. Artoriel. Dolbe.
Permit me to offer my gratitude for helping us to overcome not only the blasphemy, but the despair which spawned it. This is only the beginning. On the face of it, we may have made tremendous strides in breaking down ancient barriers within our society, but there yet remains a great rifts to be bridged. 'Tis no easy thing to rise above a lifetime of preconceptions and prejudice. I myself have struggled to do so, as you must know. But I shan't give up. On the honor of my house, I will do everything in my power to build a new Ishgard, one in which all people can see eye to eye, regardless of birth and station. Now then, I believe the deacon has some words for you too. Pray lend him an ear. Hello, Clem. Or should I say, Pope Clem. My Lady Dolbay, may I say how glad I am that you are safe and well. Just before you arrived, Lord Aymeric explained to me the true nature of the man who became the blasphemy. That poor, confused creature was born of the Church's mistakes, and on behalf of the clergy, I give you my heartfelt thanks for laying it to rest. As we work to reform our institutions and rebuild our relationship with the people, we will remember to pray for all those who have fallen and surfaced to the faith. And we shall pray for you as well. Wheresoever your faith may lead, may the Fury ever watch over and keep you. I shall leave it at that then. Lord Aymeric too wishes to speak. It would not do to keep him waiting.
Clem, thank you for not preaching to me about, my gambling habits. Okay? Everybody needs a release valve. In-universe, being the sort of mentor that is more of a role model for people to aspire to, blazing our own path and creating techniques unknown to the people we used to learn from. Dolbay, Lord Artorial, I thank you for the vital roles you played in ridding us of profane Fafnir. As ever, the sight of you in combat was nothing short of inspiring. With no further reported instances of people turning and the blasphemy itself no more, I should like to believe we are free of the scourge of despair. Mostly it was because I defeated what's-her-face, Metion. But yeah, you guys did good too.
My brethren and I shall labor to see that it ever remains so by fighting to dispel the darkness in men's hearts.
And I shall fight with you, not only as the Speaker of the House of Lords, or the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, but as a man of faith, in our God and in our people. Together, let us strive to fill our nation with hope. Damn. Let's zoom up. Dolbay, by now you will be sick unto death of being thanked. I must nonetheless express an additional word of gratitude. Full oft have you saved our nation, our people. I speak not only of our lives, but our hearts and minds as well. You have given us a great gift, that of opportunity and choice. And if we are to repay you for it, we as a nation must take full advantage of our freedom to dictate a new course forward unto a brighter future. What forward means, we may not always agree upon, but as fellow Ishgardians, we shall find a way to rise above our differences and stand united. That is the nation that I will strive to build. This I swear to you. Dolbay, given all that you have done for us, I am loath to impose further.
But may I trouble you to bear word of our success to our officer at Radzat Han. We will of course be sending a report, but there is no substitute for a first-hand account. Our allies would benefit from the additional details you can provide as well. Ah, thanks again, my friend, and may the Furies speed your way. Cool. All right. We did it. Listen, much as I like it, okay, I don't think, and as much as I complained about the Gridania quest, I think the Gridania storyline was better. I do. I think that, damn, that's expensive. Like, this one had more real-world consequences. We did, you know, we reformed the Church of Ishgard, but also, like, I don't really care. The Gridania one, we're learning more about the city. Maybe it's because I didn't live there, but it was just more interesting to me. There was a lot of talking about church and clergy, and I already knew the church was slimy, so not telling me anything I don't know.
Ah, my Lady Dorbay, by your return, dare I hope that the hunt for the blasphemy was a success. That you would vanquish the beast comes as little surprise, but that this occasion would serve as impetus for the church to embark upon a path of reform is incredible. I will share these joyous tidings with our allies without delay. If I may speak candidly, I must confess to being a great admirer of yours. If you have a moment, I should like to hear about some of your adventures, if you would do me the honor. For the present, however, in my official capacity as the Ishgardian delegate, I offer you my humblest thanks for your immeasurable service to our nation.
Well, you're welcome. You can now dye the specific job gear for level 90 magic range DPS. Cool. Okay. So, Banana, what you were saying was if I go to, what is it? And I go to my general, it would be advanced materia melding. And if I go to my equipped, how do you know which one to like put in? So you said your critical hit and your direct hit rate would be for the best? Display deer that cannot host additional materia. I guess this would be the one I'd want to do the most, and then I can just get rid of everything else. This one's already maxed spell speed, critical. All right. That looks like a later problem. Cool. Okay. I think that is gonna be it for me. I'm gonna go to the casino first, though. At least do my mini cac spot. So from what I've seen, I did miss. Well, faster just right-click your gear directly and choose the meld. Okay. That's no problem. I'm probably gonna go get the poetics gear if I'm gonna do that first. So I'm not too worried about it doing with this armor in particular. I could probably do it with my paladin armor, if anything, because I do have some poetics for that. So for what I've seen, I didn't really catch a lot of the healing. The healing job quest, so I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one, or just do it myself. I feel like
it in order went probably the tank quest, and then the one with Whip, which was the physical DPS one. That one was enjoyable. And then this one. And then the range DPS. And then I guess I'd have to figure out what the healer slots in that. But these weren't too bad. Again, I don't think they were as good as the Shadowbringers ones. The Shadowbringers ones were really cool, and they had a lot of story meaning to them. And they were just well written. So this one does bring more depth to some of the characters. Materia cannot be placed in gear that is lower level than the materia, so basically use the strongest materia that the gear will allow. So if I'm going here, you're gonna click meld. Does it tell me what gear level, item level 420, 560? So I couldn't place like this. Okay, so it grays it out. Got it. Why is this one's a lower tier aim materia, but it does more critical hit? Cannot be melded onto a piece of equipment past the first advanced material melding slot. Oh boy. Okay. Well, melding seems somewhat complicated. Crit followed by determination or direct hit rate. Spell speed doesn't matter. Skill speed doesn't matter. Don't use materia of a type that will go over the gear limits stuff for that stat. Okay, so if it's already maxed out. And some gear seems to already come with like a maxed out stat. I think honestly this is going to be more useful for my crafting gear. But we'll see. Cool. I know tomorrow BMR is doing the yokai event thing. I don't really remember what time he's starting. But if I'm around, maybe I'll be logged in and can help join that. Isn't there level 100 gear that you can upgrade? Each expansion has 2 types of materia. The strongest one can only be used in original slots, and then you can overslot with the lower tier gear midday. Okay. Like, I leave for work at 1 my time, so if it's around 11, I can probably jump in and do some of that. Worry about the weaker one that can be used for overmelding. Overmelding is a max level problem. Okay. Not my problem. Got it. Yeah, cool. And in the meantime, I am just doing, I got to get all my tome gear and then also my relics, because just in case I was almost out of use for tomes. I was getting there where I was having extra tomes I didn't know what to expend it on. Now I am in dire need of tomes again, which means I need to do my dailies, which is going to be a BMR problem. Crafting is 100% more reliant on your meldable stats. Okay. I'm assuming it's not for gear-related stuff, more like event-related stuff. Like if I wanted to do the Ishgard event, because I've never had any problem making gear with my crafters. It was more of a, like if I was trying to go do the firmament and some of the higher level crafting items that you can make for the tickets were fairly hard to reach if I didn't have with my current gear. When you buy Poetics gear with tomes, that gear has been upgraded automatically. When you get to the current expansion, you have to manually upgrade, which is more of a process. So at what point do they release the upgraded gear in the expansion? Do they wait till the very end? Like, has the Dawn Trail gear been released? The augmented Poetics gear? Actually, I think before I go, I'll go ahead and travel over to Charlian and go take a look at the gear. Not that I have any tombstones, but so I looked at all these. There was some cool stuff in here, but if we go to the Credendum one, show you what it looks like. Not bad, not bad. The sword is cool. And I love that they're adding designs on their capes now for the paladins. I think they look really cool. But so far, I just have like one piece. Oh. Oh wait, hold on. It didn't have the helmet turned on, huh? Oh no, I did. Yeah, there's just no helmet. Paladin doesn't get a helmet. Paladin gets a crown on its head. Because it would just be unfair if I had all of that armor and all those debuffs. I have to have my head open for attacks. You notice the stats more with endgame type crafts when you can't use the auto 100% quality button. I don't think I use that button anyway. Tell me what that button is. You upgrade using items dropped from the current raid tier or bought with items obtained via hunt currency or alliance raid of that tier. Notice that the tome vendor actually has the weaker gear you can buy. That was the gear from the second tier raid tier. The strongest was from the third and final raid tier. So that's the Lunar Envoy gear. Which looks interesting. I don't like it as much as the other one. What was it? There's this, the Abyssos gear. Hold on. This one looks cool. Not super paladin friendly. But if I was a Dark Knight, I'd be rocking this. Or a warrior. I mean, look at that. That is sick. If I could dye this, dye the whole thing white, maybe I'll try it. Or if I could change the flame color, that'd be cool. Tome gear from the first raid tier gets dropped into the hunt vendor. Which was over here. Cool. Also, the amount of blue quests that have been scattered in Charlian and also Where is the hunt vendor? It's somewhere over here. You should just steal the Dark Knight armor and dye it white. Listen, if it's white, that means it's good. It's a paladin. Hold on. Don't clip that. Alright, guys. That's it for me. I hope everybody has a good rest of your weekend. See some of you tomorrow for the yokai event stuff. At least to go watch BMR panic about fates. And yeah, become the best you can be. Become you can be Baymerk's friend. Nothing more. Alright, believe it, guys.